Ready to dive deeper into your outline? In our last video, we covered simple outlining with 3-act structure. Now we're ready for a more detailed outline. I'm going to walk you through Scribble's 24-beat outline for story planning. And just like last time, we're going to use ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, as an example of the beats in action. You're probably thinking, wow, 24 beats sounds like a lot. And yeah, it is. This outline is comprehensive by design. It's meant to help you visualize your story from start to finish. If you're not feeling ready for that, I recommend starting with a simple 3-act outline first. Check the link in the description for that video. The 24 plot beats are actually rooted in 3-act structure, we're just adding more detail. Because this is a video, I'll cover the beats in order, but that doesn't mean you have to. Often writers know some parts of a story better than others. Feel free to skip around and fill in the beats you already know first. You can figure out what goes in between them later. Also, don't be surprised if there are a few beats you struggle with. That's part of why we do this. Outlines help us identify gaps in our story before we start writing. So if you find a gap, don't worry, just fill in the rest of the outline as best you can. Then you can use the techniques we covered in our brainstorming video to generate ideas for the beats you're missing. I'll also link that video in the description. Writing a novel is a process of discovery. We said that on this channel before, and it's still true. As you go through your outline, you'll learn more about the story you want to tell. You might add some ideas and change your mind about others. You might iterate over multiple outlines before you're ready to start writing. That's all perfectly fine and even encouraged. You can find a template for all 24 plot beats in the Scribble app. It's easy to fill out and update as your story changes. With all that said, here are the 24 plot beats. Number 1, the ordinary world. If you remember from our 3-act structure video, Act 1 begins with your hero in their ordinary world. This plot beat gives the reader a chance to get to know your hero and see their normal life before everything changes. ACOTAR begins with Feyre hunting in the woods. She's hungry, poor, and desperate to keep her family alive. Her survival situation seems dramatic to us, but it's a typical day for her. Number 2, strange beginnings. Now, something weird happens. It's not life-changing, just weird. For Feyre, killing a massive wolf that turns out to be more than it seems. This is the first time magic touches her life, and it's the reader's first hint at a larger world. In your story, this beat might be anything from a letter arriving, a stranger showing up, or even a weird dream. Number 3, losing control. The ordinary world starts slipping away from the hero. Feyre meets a mercenary who warns her about fairy activity in the area. This is another hint that Feyre's life might start changing. This beat is about a sense of unease. Your character feels the ground starting to shift under their feet. Number 4, inciting incident. This is when the story really starts. Something or someone pushes the hero out of their ordinary world. The fairy lord Tamlin arrives, demanding retribution. Feyre must leave her family behind and cross into the fairy world. 5, worlds collide. Now we see the clash between the hero's old life and their new one. When Feyre enters the Spring Court, she's stunned by its beauty and terrified of its dangers. She has no idea how this new world works. This beat is great for world building. You get to introduce magic systems, politics, the culture, all the fun stuff that you really want to write about. Number 6, no escape, the first plot point. Feyre can't go home. She is now trapped in the fairy world for better or for worse. This is your story's first major turning point, when something big changes for the hero. It marks the transition between Acts 1 and Act 2. 7, new characters. Now it's time to meet some new cast members. I've also heard this beat called the Tests, Allies, and Enemies beat, and that about sums it up. At the Spring Court, Feyre meets Lucian and other fairies. Each encounter reshapes her idea of what fairies are really like. 8, struggle. Everything goes wrong. Feyre feels powerless. She can't do anything right. Everything is trying to kill her, and she doesn't know what's going on. This beat is about your hero learning the rules of the special world they find themselves in, and they usually learn the hard way. Number 9, the small victory, the first pinch point. Finally, your hero gets a win. Feyre begins to bond with Tamlin. It feels like maybe she could build a life here after all. But this beat isn't all sunshine and roses. We're also reminded of the antagonist's power. Even while things start looking up for Feyre, we hear more about a mysterious blight threatening the fairy world. We'll talk about that more in the next beat, 10, from bad to worse. Just as things are looking up, the stakes rise. Feyre encounters more signs of the Blight, reminding her that she's still just a small, vulnerable human in this world. 11. Confrontation. Now your hero begins to face the conflict more directly. Feyre begins interacting more with the fairies of the Spring Court instead of avoiding them. She sensed all along that there's more going on than meets the eye, and that feeling grows. 12. Discovery. The midpoint. The midpoint is always a big shift for your hero. It's the big hinge on which the entire story turns. For Feyre, the shift is realizing she cares for Tamlin. She initially hated fairies, but now she really cares about what happens to them. The midpoint is also when your hero stops reacting to whatever's happening and starts acting with more agency. They've learned the rules of the special world, so they know what they can and can't do. 13. Introspection. This beat is about taking a break, stepping back, and seeing how your hero is changing. Feyre wrestles with guilt over leaving her family, her new feelings, and her human identity. She starts painting, a symbol of her transformation. She has more on her mind than just survival. 14. Planning. After taking a break, it's time to act. Your hero plans their next move. Feyre wants to help Tamlin however she can, but she doesn't know enough about the Blight. She plans to trap an ancient fairy who will give her the knowledge she needs. 15. Rising action. Things escalate. The Spring Court is getting really treacherous. Yes, there was danger before, but nothing that Tamlin and Lucien couldn't handle. Now they're losing control and terrifying monsters are slipping into the Spring Court. 16. Battle. The second pinch point. This beat is exactly what it sounds like, a confrontation with the antagonist. Feyre captures an ancient fairy who tells her more about the nature of the Blight. This is her first really proactive move in the story. Immediately after, a pack of evil fairies attacks her. This beat shows us both how much your hero has grown and how powerful the antagonist has become. A final showdown starts to seem inevitable. 17. Major crisis. Your hero faces a huge setback. Tamlin sends Feyre home for her own safety. Feyre feels guilty and worried the whole time she's gone. She should have stayed behind to help break the curse. 18. Big twist and disaster, the second plot point. For Feyre, the disaster hits when she learns that the witch Amarantha is behind the Blight. Not only that, Tamlin and his entire court are cursed. All she had to do to break the curse was tell him she loved him, and she failed to do that. Even though it's too late, Feyre goes to Amarantha's lair under the mountain to confront her. This is the point of no return that moves us into Act 3. 19. The impossible goal. Now things really feel impossible. This is when your readers think there's no way the hero can win. Amarantha makes a deal with Feyre. If Feyre can survive 3 deadly challenges, Amarantha will release everyone from the curse. Feyre is clearly outmatched in every way, but she agrees. 20. Encouragement. Help arrives in small ways, keeping the hero's hope alive. Old friends and new ones find tiny ways to help Feyre while she's trapped under the mountain. The odds are still against her, but these little sparks motivate her to keep trying. 21. Push forward. This beat is exactly what it sounds like. The hero keeps going. Despite the terrifying challenges and physical injuries, Feyre doesn't give up. 22. The final battle, or the climax. The climax is the moment in your story when the tension is the highest. Everything seems lost. A good climax is also about more than just physical challenges. It should also force the hero to confront their flaws in some way. Feyre faces the last, most brutal challenge. Her love for Tamlin and her need to survive come to a head when Amarantha orders her to kill him. 23. Victory. And then, somehow, against all odds, the hero wins. Feyre breaks the curse, and the freed fairies kill Amarantha. Feyre dies in the struggle, but the fairy lords bring her back to life with their magic. 24. Aftermath. After the antagonist is defeated, the story winds down. You tie up any remaining loose ends and maybe hint at a sequel. Feyre returns to the Spring Court with the fairy lords she loves, but she's forever changed by her experience. She's lost her humanity in a very literal way. She's now a fairy. Her adventure will continue in the next book. So, what comes next? Once you're happy with your outline, you're ready to start writing. Keep your outline nearby while you're drafting. every day when you sit down to write, you'll know what to work on next. We'll talk about writing your first draft in a future video. For now, happy outlining. To use our 24 plot beat template, sign up for your free trial of Scribble today.